Great sunrise, family. Great sunrise. It's a beautiful day, beautiful Monday, I should say. But a very important, critical conversation that we must have on Hollywood, how Hollywood started sexual degradation um, on this planet, and how um, it's used as a tool. It's been used as a weapon and a tool. Hollywood has. But what they don't know, what these people, what they don't know, they may know everything. They may know a lot of things, but there's a lot of things they don't know. And I'm about to lay out some things. They know about us, right? They know about people of color, Black people. They get everything from us. The foundation of life comes from us because we have the God. We have the God. What's that substance? The God gene, or the God. We are the foundation. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Melanin. Melanin. Okay. So if they were put before, if Caucasian people were put before the court of law of the universe today, family, they would be automatically found guilty. They would automatically be found guilty, and they would, because they can't see that the things they do and they think they're hiding, or the things they think that we don't know, that people don't know, or people can't see, or they got the world in this trick bag of confusion, but yet they don't know that it's quite simple. It's more simple. Any detective would find an escape job, would consider it a desk job to figure out if they could see the evidence, if they knew to stop and see that things are clear, that things are actually clearer than what they think to see. The evidence of everything's laid out. You wouldn't have to do no legwork, footwork to put these people where they need to be. You wouldn't. If Judgment Day came today, I'm sure you all believe in a God and angels. They looking down, they can see clear as day. They can see clear as day. Don't think you are fooling anybody. You have not. You may confuse some, the masses, but you have not confused the real, what the people it really, those who it really counts for. And I'm about to lay out some information because they like to say the stereotype for Black people is that we're, and the bad thing about it, we play into the hand of the stereotypes. But when you have formulated and you have been the controller of a situation over a people, and you've decided, you've already planted destruction within a people, then that does reflect upon you. I don't see how you don't see that it doesn't reflect upon you, but it does. This is what your intelligence and you chose to do with your money. So basically, First, we have to understand what melanin is. We have to understand what the planet being imbalanced is. We got to understand why was the first civilization giving us certain information that is the foundation of everything, that kept everything in balance and harmony. And it came from Black people. It came from Black people. That's all you really have. That's all that really has to be argued. It was a foundation. But a lot of history has been changed, rearranged, because you can't even find the real name for Egypt. The real name for Egypt wasn't Mazmarine or wasn't Egypt. It was Tamara. Tamare. Tamare. There was a time on the internet I could find it, but I found it again through someone's video. And I already knew, because I did the research on that, about the meaning of it and everything. But that was been a while. It's been a while. But all they have to say is we laid out all this information. We gave you these instructions on life. That's all they have to say. And then all these people rounded up because of their guilt to the humanity. Their guilt to humanity. Because humanity, we gave humanity so much, but they turned around and destroyed everything and made it, downgraded it and degraded it. And we see that in today. And I'm going to go over this definition of paraphilia. I can't even pronounce these words because perverted minds make up stuff like this or have to keep up with stuff like this. But anyways, let's look at this definition here. Previously known as sexual perversion and sexual deviation is the experience of intense sexual arousal to atypical objects, situations, fantasies, behaviors, or individuals. There is no specific consensus for any precise border between unusual. Why do we even have to have this in this society? Because society's been pulled down, downgraded, and this is a certain knowledge that people who don't have that balance in their system, that God gene, they have to subscribe to this. They have to subscribe to words like this. And this is all English. So it's all evidence. That's all I have to say. It's English. It's evident. And English has no, the language I am been forced to speak has no vibrational, any kind of energy vibrations or anything like that about it. We have to create it for ourselves. You know, when you make sounds, you get vibrations, but you have to make the sounds. You can't just have a lazy tongue like I am speaking now and speaking and reading these words. There is no scientific consensus for any precise border between unusual sexual interests and paraphilic ones. You see, you wouldn't find stuff like this. We didn't give them stuff like this. They gave us stuff like this. And I want to say one more thing, because I am so highly perturbed about white people's Black people who are creating these dances, sexual dances. And it all comes from the minds. It all comes from the minds of of their friends, of their peoples, of their ones they admire. So because culturally we had dances, but we don't think of them as sexual dances. We never really had to focus in on them and make them something that it's not. But our people would make up these dances such as twerking, and we know that's part of Hollywood. We know that where that comes from. That comes from these trap house, the trap house music industry. That's where it comes from. Not no conscious rapping, because conscious rapping will rap against us allowing somebody to come in and say it's okay to dance in this manner for our people. We can't afford it. I stand up for my ancestors who've been raped. I don't know about you. I'm not going to allow a white person to guide me and lead me into creating a twerking dance or creating a dance that is a constant reminder and trauma of what my ancestors been through. But yet white people are paying you for this. So then they have control over our image. And we allow that control over our image. We don't know how much we allow them to
My husband love and kisses are my husband love.
hold on, family, hold on for a second. I just gotta. I'm not just speaking for Black people here. I'm speaking on what Hollywood has started for people all over the planet. They glamorize rape, and I'm going to back that up because they thought they were doing something slick here in America when they came out with that movie, A Birth of a Nation. But I'm going to throw it back in their face, and it's going to be a weapon back to get towards them. Because though when you do a weapon at people, you better know, you better expect a fire, you better expect a rocket right back at you. You better expect a weapon to happen right back at you. You better expect a weapon right back at you. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, hold on, let me fix this crap. Hey, Emmanuel. Share my screen here. And I don't think I'm doing justice, but I could do, this could be, it could be more put into this type of video, but I'm doing the best I can. Okay, this is a 1915 motion picture, The Birth of a Nation. I don't know why I'm not. Okay, it was a silent film. It says here, we do not fear censorship. The Birth of a Nation. Of course, they were the Jews, they were the Klansmen. You know, we know Hollywood was run by, I mean, my professor thought I was just flat out dumb and I was just going to go to school and listen to everything somebody tells me. No, no, just like Kamala Harris. No, no, that's never going to happen over here. I'm more intelligent than that. I'm not going to just let people, I've always did research. I've always studied all kinds of things. I never limit myself. I never limited myself. So I'm not going to let you just, I'm not going to let little things fly by me. You can't tell me that Jews didn't. I even had, luckily, I had a white professor that admitted to me and damn near argued me down about the Jews that owned the slave ships. And I refused to believe at the time. What did I refuse to believe? I was refusing to believe, not about the Jews, white Jews owning slaves. I believe that, but I think the whole slavery thing, I don't know. I had an issue with it, but she said there was proof. She said there was proof. And I mean, we're not retarded where we can't see for ourselves. I don't mean retarded because I don't want, no defense. But we're not, we're not that blind where we can't see that the Jews, the very Jews that do Hollywood are racist. You can't split it up. You can't say these Jews here this way, these Jews. Jewish is Jewish. And you made it, they created the world. They created that world in our minds to be like that. So you can't say that, tell us that it's any different. Can't tell us that it's any different. I'm gonna accept the situation for the way it's been given to me. And that's how I deal with information. You give it to me, I read it, I find out about it. Okay, so I'm gonna let that stick. That's the way you want it to stick for me. So I do know that it was a Jewish man that founded the KKK. I do know that I had a professor that told me that they owned the ships. And after doing further research, yeah, there's logs. She says there's logs proving that. So we gave them the religion. We adopted them into the religion. And they turned around and they did this to us. And they continued, they didn't stop. They pretended to be friends with us. They pretended to be in the same situation with us. I already explained to you how everything is planned out like a movie anyways. Everything was planned out. World War I, England wanted some land. England wanted some land. I guess World War I, they got that land. And then World War II, they were able to give it to to people they wanted to occupy the land. The same thing they do when they want to confiscate. See, this is all a plan to confiscate, to make the world white, to make the world white, to destroy blackness, to destroy the God, to destroy. Basically, that's what it that's what I've laid it out to be right there. That's what has came out clearly to see. That's what came out clearly to see. So why would you do a movie and have a black man chasing a white woman off the cliff? And then, as if, but many of our people, unfortunately, ended up playing into this system. And we've been playing a hand in our own demise, especially with our music and our dancing, our culture. So if they could, because economically it's a fact, and everybody, I mean, foreigners even know this is a white country, right? But a white country is coming to a theater near you. It's coming to a theater near you in Africa. There's been so many countries that have had issues with, and then, like I said yesterday about European woman going over into Africa just strictly for sex. Strictly for sex. And going over they're going over to mess with children as well. To mess with children. And we know what happened to us in slavery. Our people in slavery. Like I said yesterday, all kinds of hold on, family. I'm back, family. Sorry about that. Okay, as you can see, you've seen in one of the films, Birth of a Nation. Um, so they luxuried rape. Um, they call themselves doing films nowadays to help. You know, they call it life imitate. Um, they said that art imitates life, but I think they got it wrong. That I think they got it wrong. That's from what my point of view is. But is this a people that couldn't stick by the foundations of Ma'at, uh, of all the things, principles of the law of the universe, laws of the universe? That's my question. Because they seem to glamorize decadency over um, balance in the earth. They hate us so that they don't realize what else they hate when they hate us. When they hate us, they hate decency. They hate, like I said, balance. Um, the universal laws they hate, because universal laws talk about justice, talks about balance of scales. But let me look at this here. Ma'at was the goddess of harmony, justice, and truth, represented as a young woman. You know, they disregarded and started way back in, like, let me look at this film that's playing now. You see, they started having women reveal more. I don't know what demented minds there, but they wanted to see people skin more. And it came from a demented place, a demented mind. Now, I can see if you wanted people to be free. Now, people were free in Africa until the white man went over and saw and started gawking with his eyes at our naked bodies. He and then decided to take us into sex slavery. That's what I think it was. It was sex slavery and labor. It was the same thing we see going on today. Everything, you can pretty much know history. It's no such thing as history. That's why they say it's no such thing as the past, present, and the future, because everything's one. You know about everything because you see the people doing the same thing. Hey, Pirate Brain, you see the people doing the same thing. Let me share the link in case somebody, feel free, you can come up. Does not bother me if whoever comes up, even if you disagree with me, the better. The better. But like I said, we were living free. There was some of us, there was a group that could live like that, naked, and it was nothing to them. until perverted minds come and take those people, rape them, beat them, and pervert life. And then Hollywood is proof you pervert life. And now you got our people perverting their lives. You got our people perverting their lives. You see the black face? I don't see how our people fell into this trap of allowing somebody to tell you that twerking is your culture. Just because we used to do the, dances moving our bodies does not mean it had anything to do with sex. But when people that did not understand that culture, they're going to think that it has something to do with sex. And we are the ones who are going to, because we don't know no better. Many of our people don't know no better. They allow that to, they let that to permeate with the white man who use it against us. And we think it's cute. We have to be careful of certain things. That's why I backed away from Hollywood. I'm not going to be the destruction, part of the destruction of my people. I don't care how much money. I don't care. I'm just not going to do it. Not the destruction alone, to myself. A destruction to myself for anything I engage with this society. It's a destruction to myself. And a lot of people can't see that. But that is consciousness, being aware of the world around us, not nothing to make popular. That's life. That's an important part of life for the situation that we are in. And that's what I talk about. And it's getting worse. And I think that's an understatement. We let too much slide as a people. We let too much slide as a people. You want to go to war? There's different forms of going to war. They're going to war with us on every front. On every front. And winning. Hey, Arthur. And winning. Because they call us sexual deviant people. And then what they did was they set up the conditions. And then they made us prove them right. They made us prove them right, which isn't really proving them right. It's proving that they are the ones that are demented. That's what I mean by, in the court of law, skate job for the detective, the lawyers, and everybody involved, because it's laid out as such that they created a situation in this world to make life easy for them, but it ends up being more harder for them. It's going to end up being more harder for them. And I guess this is the intelligent and the rich people, that this is what they do. Yes. Yes. So they did switchery. So now you see the white man And you have some black women out here saying, "Oh, the white man, he's doing better. He's treating his woman better than us." Oh no, white man ain't never treated his woman better. Matter of fact, in history, if you go back, he hated his woman, and to this day, he hates his woman. Why you think you got sexuality? I mean, you got homosexuality. Why you think you got people want to have sex with children? They don't see that part, but they want to glamorize how the man treats you, how the man seems to treat you. And I just listened to I follow Sister Amajin. Let me see if I get her channel. Oh, Queen Ahmadiyya, and she was talking about just recently a Turkish man had a pregnant wife. I've heard so much stories worse than black man. Black man is put in a situation, he's been conditioned by the white man, but yet black women are uprising these white men. They better be careful. The same white men that raped our ancestors and raped our brothers and our uncles and our grandfathers and beat them. And not only that, the same white man that out here killing his wife. I I didn't I wanted to this one story that really touched me deep about this white man and how they couldn't figure out. They very well could have gotten him off on his murder of his wife, because he set it up where she went into the barn, stepped on a rake or something, and she was penetrated by one of the equipments. This was the mother of his children. He had the children in the house, him and the children in the house, and he set it up for his wife to get he sent his wife out to the barn to get something and had her set up to die. But yet they think that this man is better than the black man. That's all conditioned. I don't blame my sisters. They've been conditioned, and so has the brothers. The brothers been conditioned. We've all been conditioned. That's the consciousness you have to come to. You can't just sit here on YouTube fussing about black men. You got to understand the conditioning of black men. And when you understand the condition that they're in, you get mad at them. It makes it worse because you don't realize what you stepped into on them. It's switchery that these people play. It's switchery that these people played on our people. But you can't do switchery. It's not successful because there's an eye that sees all. The all-seeing eye. You're not going to get past that. How did they think they're going to get past it? I don't know. Like nothing can see the hand that they play, what they started out doing to people, and what they're doing now to other countries, trying to take over, be in control of, with democracy. Who made up democracy? The white man. Do you think he wants his life to be easier for them? Yes, for his people. Yeah. And we all agree, democracy, yes. Democracy now. Are we crazy? Did we lose it? Yes, we lost it a long time ago. We took on what we thought was a sound mind. We thought it was a sound mind. We thought it was a sound mind we were dealing with that subjected us to all this stuff and never did apologize, but we kept the trucking, we kept them moving, right? thinking that we're in a sound mind, dealing with sound minds. I'm not doing this video any justice. I'm not doing this subject any justice. Y'all, there's lots more that I could be adding to this, but I get so tired, my energy gets so drained. I'm definitely going to talk about what they're pushing in schools with the children. And it's them. But yet, we know, I'm going to say this. We see Birth of a Nation. Y'all can see that. I'll share the link to that because it's evidently a long silent movie. This is 1915 high definition version in HD, in color, kind of color. Let me share this because I want to move on to something else. I'll get to y'all's comments in a few minutes. Okay, hold on. Let me notice that. Okay. He said, let me read what you said before that. You said, no, you are on point. You're doing great. Many of our people haven't heard this before, nor some care to hear. Yeah, some do not care to hear. You're right. They don't care to know because they're in that. It's called that world for a reason. It's not about, it's about either you want to be authentic, which we talked about authenticity before here. You either want to be authentic or you want to be in fakery, an illusion. And that's the point of it all. Do you want to be authentic and live authentic? Or do you want to live be a robot and living in the way and control of some man? They just put it in a different way that would be unappealing to us. For those who suffered, like me and many others, you feel it because it's in you. All of this is in us. That's the foundation of what life is supposed to be. to balance with the earth. It's within us. And when that is harmed, when we're taken off balance, that causes us to go to drugs, alcohol, which is another trap they got waiting for us outside. That causes us to self-destruct, suicide, depression. That causes us to do and go through so much. And it was meant to do that. That's another way of killing us off. But let's look at one more thing besides this one. We're going to look at now. We're going to look at this right quick. We're going to look at the rainbow. Everybody should be aware of this. That's of lately. See, there's so much. They've sent drag queens to read to our babies. They're sending drag queens, and they're mostly white. But then they got Billy, this one token black man that's in Hollywood, Billy Porter. They got him doing it on a grandstand in Hollywood for our babies. So we know what that is about. We know what these things are about. We know what they're about. Okay, let me share this. You see, everybody's doing video on this. I'm gonna let this guy, because he's showing us actually videos and stuff and more things. Let me see, Rainbow TV. But everybody's doing a video on this, and I didn't know anything about it, but you know, because I tried to it's just so much going on, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let me picture. And, yeah, I think.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again, Meat Poppin. I was actually doing the specific video, and something just popped up in my screen. You know how YouTube is, if you click one thing, it's gonna keep recommending you a bunch of stuff, and then I'm like, okay, here we go again. London Library apologized for bringing actor dressed in bare-bottom monkey costume to children's events. Yeah. A London library has apologized for holding an event to encourage children to read, during which the actor is dressed in a bare-bottom monkey costume with a fake penis. Footage shared on social media on Saturday showed the members of Mandiga Art School, okay, the whole bada bing bada boom. 3 performers were filmed outside the event, with one dressed in an inappropriate rainbow monkey costume, raising concern for the resident. Writer Janice Turner wrote, "I would really love a detailed breakdown the commission process whereby Redbridge Council commissioned the rainbow dildo butt monkey as a means to teach children to read." People, you are trying to be inclusive. You're trying to do specific stuff. Look, man, can you just teach a person like a normal person? Just teach a person. If they respect you, whatever you do later, they might find more interesting. This thing that you're doing, just jolly, doing something gangster like fun sometimes, it doesn't make any sense. I saw some clips on Twitter about this. I think this is a clip. Look at this. Look at this. That doesn't make any sense. They're gonna run out, beautiful, and start shaking, dancing, bada bing, bada boom. And I'm like, nah, man. But look at that. That is what children need. That is what they need. Conservative campaigner Has Ahmed said, apparently this is meant to encourage kids in Redbridge to pick up reading for summer. Please tell me the rationale behind the indecent costume that were shown to families and done so publicly. Is that necessary? The fact that you just teach my kids with your character, they might respect you. And then my kid is going to be like, Daddy, he does this. And I can have a decent conversation. That's a totally different thing. But no, you want to introduce. They just released a song. We want to convert your children. And you consider this normal. People, I'm not even joking. If you keep pushing this in the direction of kids, it's gonna end bad. I'm not saying that there's gonna be a war or something, but people are just gonna show more their opinion. You can't go in the direction of kids. And right now, with the whole thing that's happening now with CRT, that they're trying to teach kids, you're telling white kids that they're bad and bada bing, bada boom. I just found out after I did some research, the only reason Hitler, for example, was in power, even when they tried to stop him, even when they sent him to prison and those stuff.
Let me go to another video because I thought he was going to show us some things, and he's getting into all this political stuff. Library apologize for what the... Okay, maybe this one is telling us a little bit more about the situation with the monkey thing. It's a rainbow monkey, so we know that it's representing the LGBTQ.
Shadow Binders is back in stock on shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com.
They can't have it both ways. Now, I know I knew gay people all my life.
With the show. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Kiki.
And I knew ever since I was a child. So, and they weren't in the closet. But I don't get trying to push this on other countries and other people, because the world, not especially, let me get into this. Black people are not born gay and lesbians. Black people would never divert to that condition unless we were conditioned to. And we've come into a society that is normal for, and we've been integrated into this sickness. And now our people, and then not only that, biologically, the mixed racing and all of this, the white people got it right. Yeah, you mix with the wrong, our people always knew, we always knew laws of the universe, which come from inside of us as Black people. We didn't have to really know it from outside of us. Ma'at, which is you got to know melanin now. I'm talking about melanin. I'm talking about your melanin, our particular melanin. I'm talking about how we disregard certain things that seem like taboo, but it's not taboo. Things like being careful who you genetically mix with, who you just choose to be with, married to. My husband didn't have to marry me. And I probably should say that he probably shouldn't have. But I've learned so much in my life about myself. The reason why I say that is because of my genetics. My genetics. It's a lower genetic. So he lowered himself for my genetics, but upgraded me. That's reality. That's reality that we have to face. And I mean, the white man used it against us because we didn't know these things about ourselves, that you have to be careful. We've heard of these things, but they've kind of used them the way they use communism and make it unappealing to do those things. But those things were the foundation of life, that rules and laws and stuff that we had to follow to ensure certain things didn't happen. But we see certain things happening, we're experiencing because we didn't stick to those traditions. We were taken out from those traditions and those ways of thinking, and it was demonized or made to seem bad. To take in regards and be very careful about who you marry, their genetics, where they come from. All of these things are important. That's why we have issues today. And we don't have no way of, we have dating services. So anybody can get with anything out there and not know what you're getting into. But we complain about, because everything's been bundled up into a bunch. It used to be where you wouldn't even take food from certain people because you don't know anything about those people. And it was thought that important things, that bad things happen. Yeah, bad things are happening to people. People are getting overweight, obese, and dying because they're taking food from whoever. We're not being careful. We're not being cautious about what we do out here anymore. About who we mating with, who we laying down with. What are we laying down with? You get what you ask for. It becomes, that's hell. That's hell when you're not conscious about your world around you and what you engage with. That creates hell. And that's what I had to deal with, was hell. But then I learned my hell I can change it because heaven isn't within me. And I need to find that, because the world outside of me is the matrix, and they've set it up where all the things that I need to be knowledgeable of, that I would fall into a pit, the pit of hell. And so that's what happens. That's what happens.
Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to go there. We're going to talk about, what was it? Rainbow dildo butt monkey.
Or something like that, yes.
Yeah.
I heard about this from my mother.
Yeah, this is an actor who attended a children's library event. And now London Library has apologized. London Library has apologized for this disastrous reading program. This is what the hell?
What does this have to do with reading?
Nothing. Has nothing to do with anything.
He just took reading Rainbow a little bit too seriously.
We're going to talk about this. This video might be a little bit spicy, so if you don't want to hear about us talking about rainbow monkey butts and dildos, shut the video off. Not for kids. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, guys. We're over 206,000 subs.
I'm sorry. Yay.
Thank you for the support. This is not
Okay,
something we
y'all
usually
can
cover,
see
but hey, we
who's
talk about
doing it. You
books
can see this guy in the
and we talk about
rainbow.
entertainment. So this
you
is
don't
entertaining
need
to some
see
people.
more, because they said it's
Actor
gonna
in
be
monkey
smart.
costume with
So, we can see this guy chose to go out here and represent in that manner in front of children. It's a disgrace. But this is what Hollywood had glamorized decadency in society. We didn't need to know their history. All they needed to know was ours. All they needed to stick by was ours. But theirs was a gruesome one, full of war and conquering, lying, stealing, killing, and allowing things to happen to women. But yet we get mad today at our men because this is happening. Well, what we should have been doing is For one thing, we should have never been conned into integration. That was our biggest downfall. Integration was a con. And they do this on a constant basis for everything. That's how they steal houses from Black communities and go and regentrify. The same thing, no different. And they do it with our history. That's why we don't know the real name of areas. That's why we don't know that north is actually downward, south is up. Down in the south, it tells you, what's happening. They say global. That's retarded to think that the sun is underground. They say global warming. Why is global warming happening in Florida if it's down? Intelligent, rich, elite people, let me know why. Because I guess we're all like crazy. We don't have a brain. We can't see. So it's just I can't get into a lot. There's a lot more. But I laid down the foundation of the truth of Black people, because I know there's Black people out there that would say, no, all people have these tendencies within them. We all one, we all the same. Everybody's the same. But I just said melanin, the Guardian, the God particle, the God particle. Which God is within each one of us, Negroid being. And it's not necessarily God, but it was called God because it balanced you with the planet. It allowed you to not be a criminal. It allowed you to have all these so-called quote unquote, I don't say blessings because blessings means blood, but it allowed you to be given land and have land. We were the ones who had all the land and had all the luscious fruits and vegetables growing on that land. Earth was great. This is why racism came about. This is why racism came about, because even though we tried to go and give them riches, we gave them education, we gave them so much, but they turned around, took from us, and put us in a lower position on earth. And that's not solely on their fault, because we deviated from who we were. We stopped dealing with our higher selves. We stopped connecting. We started connecting more with the world. And so when we started connecting more with the world, that's where we fell into. We cut ourselves off from our higher selves within us, and we played a big part in it. Just like it's a mirror. It's not no different than then. Today, they set it up, and we turned to working. We made twerking a thing. Where we used to shake and dance, we turned that into a sexual thing. So the same then is same now. We're unattached to who we are. The God particle. We just attached ourselves. We don't know. That's why we say everybody is everybody. We don't know these things anymore. That's why humanity cannot be led to a higher place and come out from a higher place, because we allow degradation and decadency to rule. So let me get some of your comments. If nobody wants to come up, I'll put the link back in again. Feel free to have this conversation. If you want to, you can come up if you want. Hello, Manuel Briggs, welcome. Welcome, Mr. Pirate Brain, thank you. Ortho, thank you. And you said, so correct, Hollywood weird set up the conditions we became, and they assimilated as they stole our identity. Exactly. Exactly. But like I said, the Turkish man, he threw his pregnant wife off a cliff. And he thought he was going to get away with it. But luckily, you know, we all got iPhones out here. We all got phones out here that we videotape, recording everything. And there was a person with a video recorder or a phone on the cliff. And the white man threw his white wife with the baby in their stomach off the cliff. So you can't run anywhere and think you're going to get a man that's going to treat you right, because what the man of perdition has done is he has defiled every man on earth. But only the strong man that can withstand all of this nonsense can be a good man for a wife. But now everyone knows that it's hard to do that. It's hard to find. It's scary out there. It's very scary out there now for people. But we got to look at what made it this bad. And say, yeah, okay, it's going to be this bad because we're going down. We're not going up. If we're going down, yeah, eventually, you know. But there is greatness still here, regardless of all this Hollywood stuff. Like I said, I was in Hollywood. I worked in Hollywood for a little bit. But I also left. And it was the best thing for me because my mental state was not the greatest for that. And I still had a lot of growing to do. And I've done a lot of growing. And I still say that my growing and learning made me decide that Hollywood is not for me. On no stand anywhere. So it is greatness out here in the world. When we get from that world of decadency, we can formulate our own world and we can have healthy relationships. Yes, there's a lot of great women and men out there still. Like I said, that overcome these obstacles that are in the way. So it's not scary. It's scary if you're in that world. It's going to be very terrifying in that world. They're going to make sure it's terrifying for you because they like you to feel, they like to make your emotions lead you instead of you empower your emotions. You empower yourself with your emotions. Use your emotions as a weapon. So, like I said, all we have to do is reach in. Heaven is within us. Hell is outside. And when we're going in our path, life's path that we're supposed to be going in, then everything usually turns out better for us. We're not out here being used and abused by anything. Anything. And taken advantage of. We're conscious of everything. We're living life on purpose. We're living our lives purposely. Let me see if I can find this so I can go over this with you guys with the okay, here it goes. When he was talking about, I listened to this last night, but he was talking about you know, because that's where our foundation lies. Our foundation lies with our ancestors, the ancient ones. The ancient ones. And they formulated things and they taught things because alchemy is
long live DMX.
our melanin, right?
Died at 50. Long live
That's
Black
how you know
Rob,
we're not.
died at 51. So together, that's 5150, which is the psychological hold that hopefully was symbolically broken. Because you know when they put you in the 5150 hole, what that means, right?
I'm trying to pause this. Okay, let me pause this real quick. So it's all about the God particle that's within us, the Christ. That's what all that is. That's the crystals. I was trying to explain to a person that's going to school for PhD, and they try to say I'm still talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about it. It is the Bible because the Bible is nothing more than the key to the Black man and Black woman's body. We see it as words on a paper, English. So it has these strict, these meanings that, but it has a ancient meaning, another meaning. So we take it literally when it's not supposed to be. It's literally in another form, not in the form we're reading it in English. The low vibrational. So we fed all this low vibrational, and we speaking low vibrational. That energy. That's why you got the people here in America. We bringing down the vibration of the planet, and the conditions that we are. They got us bringing down the vibration of the planet. So it has to rise higher. And we're supposed to be balanced with that, but we're unbalanced. We're totally unbalanced out here. So now we know why we're so special here in America. Why we are in the conditions we are in. So we know that. So I hope that you all got some important information out of this. And the main important information is that Things could have been different if it wasn't for wicked doings against us that were done to create us to be in a lower state. And I just want to say that the Caucasian man and woman have the control of everything. So they are the ones who are responsible. They're the ones that are going to be held responsible. I see that black man is blaming black woman is blaming black man, but we have nothing to do with it. You don't know. You're in confusion. And hopefully in your journey in this life that you're living, that the awakening will happen and you will get the answers and find your right path. And then in finding your right path and connecting with your higher self, find your soulmate. But it's a lot to do. You have to listen to those voices within, the voices when they tell you to go do this, do this. When you feel your body telling you to do this, do that. Like, I literally used to write down things for my future. I'm aware of spirits that surround me. And that's number one. Be aware of your ancestors and your spirits surrounding you, because they're going to help you. When you meet this guy or you meet this girl, they're going to help you know the dangers or no danger, or is this right for me or is it not right for me? It's about being in tune with self. Even though I ran around this world lost, I still was in tune to something. But I still believed in the God outside of myself. But I knew where I came from. And I came from a people, and I watched a lot of horror movies. And I watched these movies trying to get some understanding. And some gave me an unconscious understanding. Because you learn so much. There's so much to learn and so much out there put before us to dissect and examine. And that's what we have to do. That's how we have to think of things. Don't let it influence us, but let it make us think. Oh, Pie Brain, yeah. He said, have you thought about moving to a country in Africa? Oh yeah, I already got that. Together. I got a house there already that we are building now in Ghana. So yeah, I'm planning on. I'm not really moving permanently. I'm gonna live both places. Like I said, I want to live intercontinental. I would love to live different places on this planet. I don't want to be just subjugated to one area. You know, there's so many beautiful places here on this planet that, Italy was selling places cheap, really dirt cheap in Italy. And, I just.
Vet Counseling Center 6007.
Hold on, family. Hold on a second. Yes, Power Rain, you made a point there. Okay, there is no point in staying in Western country. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Because Western countries are getting destroyed like crazy right now. And I was listening to the Professor Black last night, and he was talking about how, you know, our people need to start thinking about going to other places because you know, that's what a lot of these elites are trying to do. We need to stop worrying about the land here right now because we got to know that destruction is upon certain people here. So it's evident. It's all over Europe, but it's not in Africa. So I agree with you on that, Tired Brain. We need to start moving and protecting our families and ourselves. You can keep property here. I agree with keeping property here, but you might want to think about some place that would be safe here, or because where we live in now, a lot of the places we have to just be careful where we live in the United States because the United States of America is, you know, doomed for destruction. They're of nature, natural on a natural level. Because the principles, the laws, and ma'at are something that no one really adheres to, and that's because people are haters of the universal laws of the the land. Because you show what you hate by the way you treat it, and how they treat the planet is awful. How they treat us is awful. So thank you guys for being here. And with that said, always remember true love, real peace, and the higher self within the soul. Okay, and Ortho said real quick, well, I agree with leaving. I also agree with having two spots. Leaving altogether, I say no. I say no to leaving altogether. I don't know much about Africa, but I don't care about. I think your heart should tell you what land would be good to invest in for your protection. It could be anywhere on the planet. It could be Greece. Greece is a beautiful place. It can be anywhere. But when you do that, you got to make sure you make that ground sacred, because wherever you are, your God, quote unquote God, we don't call it God, but in English, I go back to the language and the people who made these words. They consider it God for a reason. So you might as well embrace that. Even though they won't tell you that you are, you embrace that, and you have the certain powers that come with that. And you can sanctify, make your land, wherever you decide or choose to be, protected and guarded over, that no destruction can come near you, because you're not around the decadency. You're not around the decadency. So that's just real. Let me play this video real quick, a little bit about him talking about this real quick, and then I'll be back with you guys in a minute. Let me try to get it played here. I don't know why it's not playing.
In law, that's when they commit you to asylums and stuff, and that's basically what they both were regarded to. You know what I'm saying? So, not do the knowledge to that. Also, it's been reported this dude has made over 750 million since all of these dudes gonna have records out, stuff like that. But if
He's
we look
talking
at
about tomorrow. He's talking about our ancient
other companies like Rockefeller and Death Row, we'll see all of the same things, man. They all had catalog, and now that catalog belongs to everybody but them. So this is not just a trend. This is how that business goes. Like, as soon as the verses starts blowing up, you know what I mean? Instead of them sitting on it or holding it down or keeping it so-called black owned, the first thing they do with the first real logo offer they get, based on what they could have got if they held on to it, you know, they take. And now again, it's an Asian person running it. So when you see these verses and they suck from this point on, the last good one was Ray and Ghost, and that was right when they sold it. So that's basically the end of the whole structure anyway. So that's a wrap. So again, none of these platforms that they talk about as being black owned or black controlled or anything black, anything leaves itself open to some sort of infiltration. And that's just what it seems to be, you know, in all of these different modes of control or whatever, you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, you have to pay. Yeah, Wayne got the royalty money from the $100 million deal, which is really lowballing him compared to the amount of catalog he had. However, he's an addict, so you can't really look at these people as being in control of themselves. Like, he's been molested and raped, you know what I mean, in the game from the beginning. So you can't really look at this person as a well-functioning individual. You can't look at any of it as that. And to a large degree with people like him, in that regard, it's not his fault because he was sold to the game early. You know what I'm saying? Whether he sold himself, his people sold him, whatever, he was sold out and not taken care of because the baby boomer generation was the most selfish generation in history. It's from them we get the divorcee generation because the baby boomer generation was the generation that was given the biggest lie. That was the intense generation that was post World War II and was given the understanding that white supremacy is the way to go. That is when you see the rise of African republics, but more African stereotypical representation on TV and stuff like that. During the rise in the 70s of all of the so-called black republics, what was the biggest shows on black TV during that? Roots. Think about that, yo. While all these African nations was getting their independence, we watching all of our people getting enslaved, being taken from Africa, right? Benson, the Butler, right? Good Times, the Projects, the Breeny Green, what up? And that was written by Jay Leno. Jay Leno was a writer on Good Times. Yeah, he wrote for JJ. He wrote dialogue for JJ. Okay? The Jeffersons, yes, the Jeffersons actually was a spin-off sitcom from All in the Family because George Jefferson was the nemesis to the old white Mason Archie Bunker, who came in during the whole 60s busing shit, remember? That's right when Carol, his daughter, had the baby. And Michael, who was Rob Reiner, right, was the aspiring liberal ACLU dude, right? But in the end, Archie and George was cool because not only were they both Freemasons, they both knew that this black and white shit was just a way that they was keeping their family together and getting money. People like the Jeffersons so much, they moved that up, right? And then they give them their own show. Meanwhile, Sherman Hemsley in real life is gay. Roxy Roker's married to a white man. You dig what I'm saying? So look at what's going on. Then Lionel was painted to be the one that was supposed to take over, but then they deified him when they made him the Black Panther, right? And then from the Black Panther, before then he was in the gang, right? That's programming. We all emulating that. You understand? We grew up emulating and creating that. Just shit. Thelma still look great. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean about the way that we've been engendered into this reality and understanding it. Like, I had a discussion today about the UCC, right, and how that is the main focus that people use to categorize they status and things like that. But really, that's just another tool. That's just something that was created around the time I'm talking about to basically tabulate who was debtors and who was not over the U.S. That's really it, and it entails the codified rights of admiralty that you invoke on the private side. So it's not the end all to be all to what you're doing. It's just another way to catalog what you have and then have remedy if these people do that, because you classify who is the debtor, who is the creditor, which then satisfies the admiralty requirements to show that you're not a vessel lost 6 years beyond the sea under the sex that we trust. But it doesn't necessarily dictate what your nationality is. It just denotes that and categorizes that. You have to set aside the fee schedule, the fee simple, the hold harmless, the power of powers. These are the different documents that go and back up everything in the collateral statement that you put in that little section for the collateral. You understand? So again, it's just another militarized, occupational-based who's in the field, who's in amity, who's an enemy combatant situation. You understand? It doesn't define what your nationality is. Like, it's really there to deal with statutory entities that try to impose upon your state's jurisdiction. That's essentially what it is. And a cataloging element for what exists within the estate. So that way, the clear delineation between the debtor and the creditor is made. So if they try to go public and try to make the debtor into the creditor, you always have a remedy to show and prove cause based upon using that UCC filing as the exhibit. And the Secretary of State, who is over those UCC filings as witnessed by tacit consent. Everybody understand? That's why you never hear me go into it like that, because it's cool when you're setting the trust up and all that other stuff. But aside from that, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you whip it out. It's not like it's not like it's a diplomatic passport. Like it's not that. You know what I mean? So yeah. So DMX, yeah, Black Rob, more bones for the foundation. So we focus more on the stories and the songs and the myths instead of, the destruction of these men's lives. However, they signed up for that at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that was really dope. I thought it was very poignant. The writer, okay, everybody saw the joint on Netflix about Deb Antony and Bimmy and like the behind Haitian Jack and all of that, right? On that documentary, there's this lighter skinned black man who has an afro or whatever. He's the guy that's writing, and he's giving commentary in that. He's the guy who one of the writers on Falcon with the Soldier. I like the way that they show how the white man is the devil without getting into the white man being the devil. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is dope. And I understand both sides of it. I understand because, like, as a kid who actually read comic or read comic books or read comic books and stuff, as a kid, I liked Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
This is
and it wasn't that I didn't like the Black Panther, but
video for this. So if you want to
I
catch
didn't,
it,
the story, how he was, the shield, like you know what I mean? It was dope to me. I didn't see him as a symbol of white supremacy. At, 8, 12, you know what I'm saying? But I see later, as I got older, they had to inject those types of themes within the book because now I was older and didn't see, you know what I mean? I'm an educated reader now, so I'm reading it from a different perspective. So now the stories get more and more inclusive. So by the time The Truth came out, the comic book that actually really showed Isaiah Bradley, I thought it was dope. But what they do with shit like that sometimes is makes, like, the book will be dope, the cover be dope, the story be dope, but then the art will suck. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they was able to put a lot of people off from the book just because the art was whack. Right? Exactly, Donnie. The art was horrible. Exactly. They got this dude, Kyle Baker, I believe, was the artist. And I never liked this stuff. But regardless, that's who they got. He was called the Winter Soldier because all of the Soviet black bag product operations in real life were put under the cold winter. You know what I mean? So the op was always like winter breeze, winter storm, like whatever. So him being a Winter Soldier was American kidnapped, brainwashed through the Manchurian Candidate stuff, and then brought back, which is basically a throwback to what they do in real life when they put these people through what they call total control in the military complex. That's why when a lot of soldiers come back, they not necessarily the same. Where they was the same, but the soldier thing triggers in them real quick because of the trauma they put them through to turn them into instant killers. The PTSD comes after the trauma. You see what I'm saying? But they are not registering what's happened to them as trauma. Why? Because the Army tells them that it's training. You see what I'm saying? Training, trauma, it's the same thing. Programming, it's the same thing. Education is the same thing. We grew up with the lie. We were programmed to lie. Now we're deprogramming ourselves with what the lies are, and then reprogramming ourselves with what we believe or know the truth to be. You understand? That's why you can't get it twisted and get wrapped up in earthly arguments that these people try to do, because they're all in the same place we are, if not worse, because they are adopting identities knowing that the real identity still exists. Understand? So the psychological dependency on the actual illusion is what perpetuates the need for the illusion to exist.
This is such a good video. I put the link in there, y'all.
No one would care about an oasis.
I have to go.
The whole place was full of
true love, real peace, the higher self within.
People only appreciate oases in deserts.
And I will put it also for the video.
And some people, when they couldn't find them, actually created them in their